love the church and you want her to grow and you want her to be strong and you want to do kingdom work, it just makes the most sense to start with the kids. There's so many people growing up and deconstructing, and I think I've always been taught and still believe to this day that everyone should serve in children's ministry, not because you're great with kids or an amazing teacher or whatever, but because you love the church and you want the church to be strong and you want the church to grow.
I think it's changed me, and this is one of the surprises that I've encountered, and that is that it's really connected me with the children in our church to the point where I call them by name. When I see them at worship, they actually recognize me.
And they're always talking about their families, and because they're part of CtK community, then sometimes they'll say, well, I was at so-and-so's house for dinner or to spend the night or community group. To hear them talking about that, and for us to be involved as their teacher and getting to know them, not just them, but their families, their parents, their friends.
You know, people joke about the Sunday school answer is Jesus, but for these kids, it's not. Like they know a whole lot more than just Jesus. So, I mean, it's just so sweet to watch all these little kids turn from like 3-year-old toddlers to kids who can, you know, articulate the gospel.
Serving with the kids, to me, is like the most important thing you can do, whatever it is. Because that investment is so important.
I wish that people knew that it's not a job to be done. It's a real opportunity to demonstrate serving them.
We don't go to babysit.
Yeah.
You know, we go to teach, but we go to build relationships, and those are so valuable.
In our lesson, maybe we'll have something planned and it may go a little bit of a different way, and it's really neat to see their little hearts ask a lot of new questions and their brains come to grasp a deeper concept. So it's just exciting to see God teach them right where they are at their level.
For me, I remember one Sunday, I came back to children's ministry 2 months after my son passed away. He passed away at 6 days old, and I was on staff at a church, and I thought, well, I don't want to talk to the grown-ups, but I'll go talk to the kids. But the problem was, I didn't really believe or feel those warm Sunday school feelings that you are supposed to feel. But I knew, I'm just going to say it. And a little girl asked me that lesson. We were talking about hearing from God, and she said, how do you hear from God, Miss Joanna? And I remember thinking, I don't know. But I had to say it. I had to say how we hear from God, because I'm in a Sunday school class and all these kids are looking at me, and I wanted to say, the heck if I know, Chloe. You know, I don't know. I don't know how we hear from God. But then I was like, no, I had my lesson, and I knew, like, okay, God is so good. He's given us his word. We hear from him there. Chloe, he's given you parents. He speaks to you through your parents, and he's given us his church. His word was hidden in my heart, not only from being in Sunday school, but also teaching it. And so I think it's important that no matter the season you're in, God wants us to show up, to remember ourselves, that the glorious deeds that he has done are good and true and the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow.